Okay, we're live here on the end of day 3 of the Enlightened Entrepreneur Summit. I'm Taylor Schuler, your host, joined with the amazing, the lovely, the phenomenal Stormy Grace. Thank you for being here.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And the summit is beautiful. So, yay to you.
Thank you. And, folks have been absolutely loving your talk, um, which was about your niche and about burnout. And we've got Mercury conjunct Chiron. We are days away from the lunar eclipse. Burnout
Yeah.
is real, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think folks have been really grateful for your expertise. So thank you for doing that interview with me and providing that to all of the folks here at the summit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. It's very real, like and the entrepreneurial spirit is so like go after it that there is no way to go after it like that and not find burnout. So it's more about mitigating the burnout process, and clarity is a really great way to do that. So I was thrilled to share that because I've also done it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I've got myself just crisp and sizzled right on out doing this. So I get it.
Yeah. I think we've all been there. And don't want to like harp on people's pain or anything on this Chiron day, but just like acknowledging. And I see we're on Instagram now, and there is like not even half of me, and there's half of you. So I don't know what's going on with Instagram. That's the Mercury Chiron conjunction. A little bit of pain in our communication. But actually, you had a really beautiful post today, horoscope about Mercury and Chiron that I wanted to pull up again.
Yeah.
It was on Facebook. So folks, check Stormy out on Facebook and all the channels because she's got like daily horoscopes, and it's like, for each transit of the day, which I love.
Yeah. All day, all day. Yes, those are, let me tell you what, those have been a beautiful, beautiful love, like labor of love. And they are all day long. The transit, you're set up for it. If you're following on Instagram or Facebook, to just kind of check in. And that's what it is just to check in, come up for air for a second, say what's going on around me, and come back to yourself. Have a somatic experience with the world that you live in and let the moments be real, you know?
Yep. That's totally what it's about. Okay, I found the post. It said March 20th, 2024, Mercury conjunct Chiron in Aries. Quietly notice the brilliant thoughts and ideas that form in your mind. A lot of light is about to be shed upon something you've been seeking clarity about. Wise words from Stormy Grace. So I'm curious, for those who are here live with us, what are the things that you've been seeking clarity about? Because that's one of the major points of a summit. Like we want, people have come here because they want clarity, people want direction, they want to live their purpose, they want to attract clients, they want to optimize their business, they want to scale, they want to make more money, and they want to do business in a spiritual way, in a
Mm.
soulful way, an enlightened way, in Pluto and Aquarius futuristic type way, cooperative, collaborative, not burning out, um, fulfilling your soul's purpose. What am I missing? What do you think people are want? How are people wanting to do business according to you, Stormy?
Yeah, I think that's exactly, you've nailed all of it. And I think the only thing that I would add is that people just want to have some ease. I feel like there's a real call out there right now for doing it with some ease because we have like done the grind and go hard, and there is some of that in being an entrepreneur. I think you naturally have the figure it out, I will grind it out until I figure it out spirit, but I feel like there's a real call towards ease right now that is like, I can't. I cannot grind on myself one more minute. So I need some instruction how I can do this with a bit of ease and still be productive, have the outcomes that I want, and run a successful business. So, those are questions I know that definitely are coming from people in my sphere is like, I need some ease. And it's like, yeah, you do. It's easier than you think too, but we gotta take guidance, because I don't know about you guys who are watching and joining us right now, but I know that I've experienced coming to the end of all I've got to offer, the all I know, in this last handful of months even. And that's kind of painful to go, whoa, wait a minute, I'm out of what I have to offer here and needing to be taught, like needing to become teachable again so that more ease can come because I'm making something harder than it needs to be because I'm trying to work with a system that doesn't work anymore. Right. So this teachable place of allowing ease to come in has really been a cool experience. And I don't know if you guys watching have experienced that, but here you are at a summit with a whole bunch of teachers and people pouring information and wisdom into you. I would think there's something your cup is looking to absorb, get something in there.
Totally. And I love that you're saying this about ease, because a summit is definitely not an easy thing to do or put together.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, I'm not doing anything if there's not ease in it these days. So I figured out a way to do it where it would be easy, where I could do multiple things. Like if y'all knew what I had going on behind the scenes, you'd be like, you're doing a summit? Like, yes, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yes, person. um, and so I appreciate you saying that, Stormy, because it goes to so many different points right now. Also the Pluto and Aquarius that we were talking about. For example, I think that the Pluto in Aquarius, and not to get like, into political stuff, economically, but essentially the way that we do capitalism, the way we do our economy, the way we do finances, the way we do earning money, the way that we have this Protestant ethic is changing, right? Pluto is going to have its final voyage, its final jaunt through Capricorn this year. And that is this, I think that is more of that Protestant work ethic that America and like a lot of capitalism stuff was built on, which is this very earth-based, put in the work and make it happen. And it's not to say no work was put into the summit. Like obviously there's work that went into it, but there's also this very Aquarian, how do we work with time well? How do we move through time? How do we, fly through the air? How do we make airplanes look like they just float and fly through the air with ease, right? It doesn't happen with nothing that you get an airplane flying through the air. It doesn't happen with no work that you get, a big event to happen and have it be easy. But what what really is ease, and how can we bring it in so that we can have self-care, we can have people care, we can care for the earth? And when you're aligned with yourself, right? Like the tagline for the summit was reconnecting to the wisdom of the earth and cosmos, nature and the cosmos, the stars and this planet, in order to you know create a regenerative business, reconnect to the wisdom of the nature and the cosmos to fulfill your soul's purpose and to build your regenerative business, because that is the Pluto and Aquarius future, is being able to do things differently. And I think it's when we're disconnected from who we are, when we're not living our purpose, that things become difficult. And when you are who you are, a tree is a tree. It doesn't try to be a frog.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think that some of the things that we're experiencing with some of the pain points that Pluto and Aquarius is exposing for us are these ideas that we had about ourselves, about who and what we were, and finding out that some of them are just not true, like that identity won't hang anymore. You know what I mean? And that's a really beautiful thing because what it has brought to my attention and to my client's attention is that this idea of like my purpose, I've been running around here looking for my purpose and waiting to be fulfilled in it, when it's the other way around. When I just do what I am built to do, my purpose fills itself because the people that I do the thing for's cups get filled. And that's a very different way of looking at that, because I can tell you, listen, we work in the metaphysical space. People want to know why they're here. I want to know why I'm here. What's the journey? right? And something in the timing that we're in right now is like, no, this idea also that I was in control or that I was the timekeeper has been smashed for a lot of us. So it's like, well, with that truth out of the way, how do I work with ease by just doing and being what I am, as opposed to the delusion that I have carried for a very long time? And it's fine because the delusion fit into the society and the world that I was in also, right? But at the time, I also wasn't competing with machines. And today, I'm going to compete with a machine, and there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with that. So the delusion of who we thought we were, I think, is really, really vibrant right now for a lot of people. But what that pain point leaves space for is the ease. It's the just do you. And if you just do that, you will pour your magic and your medicine into and onto people, and then you will see your purpose. You don't have to search for it. Now, you might need to decide what kind of snacks you like. And as a Taurus, I'm very concerned about that. But you don't have to look for your purpose. So it's kind of that nice era of it as well, where Aquarius welcomes us back to each other, the individual adding to the whole, but I can only add me to the we, you know?
Yeah, so true. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that you have to burn yourself out and work hard in order to be successful. And that's just not true, right? Like you can just be you and be worthy and be deserving and let things come and let things go and be safe there, right? Like one of the things in astrology that a lot of astrologers like know and will look at first in the chart is what is the element of your rising sign, your ascendant, or your moon. You know, you might look at it differently depending on, you know, how you practice astrology. But what are your essential needs? And I know that you were are, however you want to put it, a student of Noel Till. I hope I said that right. Did I say that right?
Noel,
Noel.
Noel,
Noel, thank you. I always get it wrong.
Noel.
I like overthink it and I say it wrong every time. Noel Till. Um, and I took his training that Kathy Rose has up. It's like a 10-part training. I forget what it was called. But I love the
Yeah.
one with Moon and like, what are your need? What he says, your reigning need, you know? And but what are your needs, whether it's your moon or your ascendant, however you want to look at it? And it's like, do you need material security and safety if you're an earth sign rising? Do you need financial security and safety because you have this earth, this tangible earth need, like, or snacks? You know, you need to have your snacks because you're a Taurus, or you need your money because you're a Capricorn, or you need your herbs because you're a Virgo, right? Like, and garden, whatever it is. And you need like money to get there. Or physical space. Or if you're an earth sign, air sign, can you communicate freely with people? Do you have a safety and security through the ability to communicate and think freely for yourself with other people? If you're a fire sign, do you have like the power and freedom and independence that you need to feel safe and secure in the world as you move through it? And if you're a water sign, do you have that emotional security that you need? And so all of this, like, if we break it down, you know, just bringing it home again, people have this misconception that you have to work hard, which goes back to that Protestant ethic, in order to be deserving of the safety and security that fuels your core need in
Yeah.
life. And it's just
Yeah.
not true. It's actually like, if you find ease, like today, I was talking with Sarah Borland. We had an interview with Sarah Borland. She talked about
I
the
love her.
secret to feminine power, which is communicating with authenticity and heart. And at one point, she says, if you start thinking and feeling and asking for and going with and doing and being with the people and the things and the energies and the attitudes and the emotion, she didn't say it quite like that, I'm elaborating a little bit, you get more of it. It's a snowball. You know, you want to be happy, go be around happy people. You want to be an entrepreneur, go be around entrepreneurs. Like, be here at the summit, come work with any of us that have been at the summit. So more begets more. You know, you grow what you pay attention to. And if you want to work hard and burn out, you will you will go, you will, you will do that. You won't necessarily get the money. You won't necessarily get the success or the title or the accolades or the promotion or the vacation that you thought was going to come from the money and the title and that, like, you know, there's always this other thing we think that we need. But if you go with ease, you'll get more ease. Look at that.
Yeah, that's really it. And that's where I think this teachable piece comes in, because to be an enlightened entrepreneur is to understand that I need a teacher to show me how to go in the next direction that I can't figure out how to go. There's nothing enlightened about sitting in your house, burning your business to the ground and not asking for help. That's not enlightened. And I think that we are also in a time where we can say that to each other and hold each other accountable to that, right? If you're going to run a business, you've got to have the principles of business. This is something I had to learn too. This is why I burnt out in the first place, because I ran my business like it was a hobby, right? And so this is where I think that we also see the limitation, where it's like, if I wanted to keep having a hobby, that's fine. And I could have done it in the way of a hobby, but I wanted a business and I wanted to build life out of it. I wanted to retire. I wanted to send my kids to college off of it, which meant it needed to run and function like a business. So I had to go to the business people to be enlightened on how to be a business entrepreneur and do that. You know what I mean? Because like you said, more is going to get more. When I was over there thinking, I'll just get better, I'll learn a little something else, I'll try and take this free training on YouTube and it will work out. What I was getting was burnt out.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is a place too where in the easier, softer way is sometimes to surrender to win. Right? Surrender. Let someone just look at what you're doing and say, oh, make these 2 tweaks. And in 2 weeks, you get on with fixing what's been taking you a year of burning out, going to bed crying, worrying about your finances, and not being present in the room with your partner that you're both sitting in. Because that's what it looks like. That's not enlightened entrepreneurship. And I know it because I have been there. So today, it's a privilege to not only be in the astrological sphere, but in the business sphere and help creative entrepreneurs walk through that. You know what I mean? And say, no, listen, this is the easier, softer way. Promise.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the easier and softer way. And I'm thinking of some transits, and you said surrender. I personally am having a ton of Neptune transits right now, and surrender is the only way forward. And I'm thinking of how we have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces right now, and we have some other planets that were just in Pisces and are in Pisces and will be in Pisces shortly. And it is all about taking action and building structure and tuning into the zeitgeist and your own spirit and your soul in order to surrender, because Neptune then, not because, as above, so below, you know, like as within, so without. And also correlated with that, you know, they're co-present in Pisces. So Saturn is crystallizing this Neptunian spiritual energy that is saying you must embody surrender, essentially, is one way to interpret that. And also what will happen next is we will see Saturn and Neptune actually meet up at the very first, is it 0 degrees, 0 or 1 degrees of Aries?
Aries. Yeah.
And I think that's next year. Like I'm thinking of it like it's 2-3 years away still. No, this is like next year is happening. And that is, if you surrender now and accept your soul's calling and lean into it, right? You can actually then use that energy to be who you are, to be independent, to be the spiritual entrepreneur, spiritual Neptune, entrepreneur Saturn in Aries, right? I was just reading, this is totally off topic. It's not off topic, I promise. It might sound off topic and like it's coming from left field from an astrologer, but I was raised Catholic in New York City, and I just picked up the Gospel of Thomas. And it's one of the lost books of the Bible. And I can't find the exact quote right now, but and I think they call them logions, or Logion. They're like one word, one phrase, like maybe 3 sentences, teachings of Jesus that apparently Thomas captured and then were hidden for millennia because they were really powerful and subverted the system. So that's why we don't have the Gospel of Thomas inside of the Bible. But I think it's like the new age, like stuff. It's all the stuff that we talk about as astrologers or new age or spiritual healers. And so the summary, and this is in my Instagram stories if you want to check it out. It was, there is something inside you that is a gift. And if you acknowledge it, accept it, and give it to the world, you will make your life better. You'll make the world better. You'll make your soul happy, like flowers and unicorns and rainbows. And if you don't acknowledge it, if you repress it, if you steal it from the world, if you steal it from others, if you refuse to step into what you are here to do and your gifts and your talents, and you keep it inside yourself, it will destroy you.
And I just believe that so fully with the Saturn and Pisces is because it's like it really is. It's a crystallizing of faith, right? It really is the faith to go out and to do and to be. But where I think that we get lost, and I've seen the woods, people get lost in the woods, is that we think that it's going to be that I'm this wise healer with unicorns and bubblegum. And typically, the place that we're most built because it's within us is through a pain point. Because that's the thing that I can understand the most fully and hopefully be able to, one, relate to another person at a level where we're humble enough to listen, and then also make transformation. And that's where I am seeing and walking with my clients right now. And somebody had to walk with me as a mentor through the thing that is inside me that is the gift was one of the crappiest things. It was not the thing that I wanted. It did not land me with the people in the world that I thought were cool,
Oh,
right? But they were the people that saved my life, brought me to faith, brought me to a bigger existence in my business, a bigger and more full life in my home, right? And this is where I don't want anybody to miss the enlightened entrepreneur message that, especially on my topic of niching, if you are not clear on your niche, you are going to burn out. That is it. There it is. But your niche right now, today, if you don't know who it is or you're struggling, what have you struggled with? Who are you? Who are you? Are you a man? Are you a woman? Are you black? Are you white? Right there tells you already some people that you can help. That is already planted in your story. And from there, what have you been able to do in that personhood? Right? So if you don't know, if you don't already have clientele that you can go back into and say, oh, it seems like women 35, 44 really like me, well, any of that stuff today, your pain point, the thing that maybe you don't think is the best about you is probably what you can use to help somebody. And don't miss it as the gift that it is. Most of the coolest things I've ever done in my life that I think are really cool, nobody gives a crap about. They don't want it. They don't want it, right? They're like, cool for you. They don't want it. And when I tell somebody the truth about going to bed at night, worrying about money, and how I was going to pay for my kids to go to school and worrying if I did the right thing in finances, somebody can understand that. They can hear that, especially then when I show them how I don't do that anymore.
yeah. Yes, that is the Chiron. It is the wound and the healing too. And it's reminding me of the talk with Rachel Starr from earlier today too about human design. She did a brilliant, I think it was like a mini master class, just like you had a master class on niching and burnout, on the profile lines in human design and what your story is and what you need to tell people. And there's so much more. I'm hearing a lot of human design in what you said. Is it what you get excited about, or is it something about your story, or how are you attracting people to you, and how are you figuring that out based on these systems of these language systems from the stars and from spirit that we can learn and then make decisions on. There's so much more with Chiron that I wish we had time to talk about, but we've got to start wrapping it up. It's like how do you be humble and be the authority? How do you be humble and be the teacher? How do you get over that, like, too much humility? This is what I see more often, is like there's too much humility where people refuse to become teachers and refuse to step into that role of authority. To me, that's the key, that you're ready. If you're like, oh no, I can't, who am I to, we need more people who are compassionate and thoughtful like you. But that wound might come up other ways, like either you use your story, like your history, to help people solve that problem that you needed to solve for yourself because they're in that position. Another thing that we talked about at the summit today. Or it might come up where, if you're kind of on the opposite end of that spectrum and you're like, I know the answer. And someone comes to you and they're like, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. You're not the teacher for me. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have,
Absolutely.
I don't know if it was a reel or a new episode about niching that came up on your YouTube channel, and you've got so many fabulous offerings. Do you want to tell folks a little bit about that so they can connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, I say do it for free, right? Like do what you can for free to start. So head over to the Legatia Academy YouTube page, and there's a ton of good content over there, so you can dig into that. And if you're ready to go further from there, you can always find information in the description box down below. But my full program is rolling out again. I restructured it a little bit, and so I'm letting everybody come in at an entry rate. So if that is you, if you are ready to build your business, even if you're like, I want to build something, but I don't quite have it nailed down exactly what I want to build, come and take my program. By the time you leave, you're going to be like, this is what I'm building. And the coolest thing is that we just go into your life and pull you into your purpose. We're not waiting for you to find your purpose. Okay, please, honey. Right? We are going to pull you out, pull your purpose out of you and get you to helping people so that you can have a profitable business. You can leave a legacy. You can feel financially fulfilled, have money that works for you. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So you can definitely check that out. And listen, if you are wanting to YouTube, I am a YouTube nerd. I am one of those people who studies YouTubes and go to YouTube trainings. And now I show other people how to build a YouTube channel, how to make your first YouTube video. So if you want to work on any of those things to bring yourself out in the world, and in the end, they all tie together, I would love to work with you. So yeah, come on.
Y'all, I have worked with Stormy. Stormy is the reason that I have a YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube or you did or didn't know that I have one, Stormy is the reason I have one. I mean, she's the real deal. She's the reason I have a niche and I just don't do readings for just about anything and anyone anymore. She's the reason I take 3 naps a day, or at least I say that, but because I want it to become true and I want to magnetize it into my life and give myself permission to take the 1 nap I take like once or twice a week and say I'm making progress. So definitely, I think it's amazing, beautiful that you have all these free resources. But once you get through all those free resources, or if you want to accelerate, definitely get into Stormy's program, because she just cuts to the chase and gets you there. So thank you, Stormy, so much for your talk and for this live today. It's been so much fun. So grateful for you.
Yes, always so grateful for you, and so grateful for all of you who showed up and are taking the time to hear what's going on here, because if you're ready, the message is about to find you.
Love it. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will see you again tomorrow. I also will have a masterclass, so I'll be live in the morning, but stick around at the end of the day because I will have a masterclass for you, a little special edition to the summit, and you'll get more details tomorrow. So take good care. See you, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.